What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Applicable Dad, Parenting and Beyond, the show that helps you to navigate the life of parenting, coaching, and mentoring and the like. I am Jon, your host, and I am here with my esteemed colleague and good friend, Cody. The topic for today is mentoring, how and why in today's world. But before we get to that, I'd like to talk to you about our sponsor. Today's sponsor and second episode sponsor is none other than Justice Fit Gym in Okmulgee, Oklahoma. You trying to get fit?
Yeah.
You trying to run that 7-minute mile?
Yeah.
You trying to get those clothes to fit in all the right places?
Like my jeggings from 2015?
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it, but yeah, absolutely. Who wouldn't want that? What about a Speedo? You trying to fit in that Speedo?
Oh, man. Jon, I'm too disproportional for a Speedo.
Dude, it'd be a bad look for me, man. Like, I don't have the legs for a Speedo, and I'm aware of it. Hey, you should give Chris a call.
But I'll rock one.
I don't want to be there for that, but I still care about you.
You do.
Give Chris a shout at Justice Fit Okmulgee at 918-758-6163. We'll also throw up his website or his Facebook page on the video. Give him a shout. He's the man. He knows what he's doing. So, we're back. Again, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Episode 2. We had a lot of great feedback from episode 1, the introduction to Applicable Dad. We definitely appreciate the downloads on Buzzsprout. Mm-hmm. We appreciate the views on YouTube. And so we're here. We've listened, and we're ready to start episode 2.
Let's do it.
Yeah?
We still need that feedback.
We do need that
feedback. Make sure you comment. Give us some tips. Give us some guidance.
Yeah.
And some direction.
Do we need to cover something before we get into episode 2, though?
Oh, yeah. We have some things to unpack from episode 1, Jon.
Okay. I'm interested.
A few corrections. So we know you know my daughter and how old she is, but you did reference her as being 15 instead of 16, which she is. And she's almost 17. She'll be 17 in August. Senior, very proud of her. And also another age mishap is your son is 6.
Oh,
yeah,
he is. I said he was 7, I believe.
We make mistakes.
My bad, little man. That doesn't mean I don't care.
And apparently, I've been married for 4 years, not 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would say of all 3 of those mistakes, that might...
We know which one's the worst, Jon. We know which one's the worst.
Okay. As long as you know.
I have a forgiving wife. Thank God.
God bless that. Absolutely. Well, so those are our corrections for last week. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. What is mentoring? Mentoring is something that provides meaningful connections that impact the people involved and influence their lives at home, at work, and in their communities. For those that are being mentored, it is linked to improved academic, social, and economic prospects. For those who are doing the mentoring, there's even a benefit there. The relationship can build leadership, management skills, and expand a mentor's professional network, as well as provide an empowering opportunity to give back to the community, which are all phenomenal things from both sides of the mentoring coin flip. So mentoring really, though, is about more than just giving advice. It's about motivating. It's about empowering. It's about helping the other person understand themselves, but also realize kind of their potential. So
absolutely, yeah.
The goal really is how do we help them get there? And understanding what a mentor is can help you to reach those goals for them, the mentee, as well as you. I've been a mentor. I know you've been a mentor. I've had mentors, and I know you've had mentors. And there is a lot of benefit that comes from both sides of that. And so that's really what we want to talk about today. We want to also expressed that it's also about helping each other resolve issues, whether directly or more often even through just advice and sharing experiences. So that's kind of the point. This is the beyond. This is where our title, Parenting and Beyond, really starts getting in more depth, more subject matter. And we really wanted to touch on that the second episode because we did have people asking, what is the beyond? Well, it's a lot of stuff. But beyond really starts from a mentoring. As a dad, as a parent, right? You're rearing your child. You're giving them your experience. You're helping them to develop. You're helping them to grow. You're helping them to learn, kind of avoid the same mistakes that you and I made, right? But it's also much, much more than that. What can we do as good people, as positive people do for people outside of our immediate household? So that's the beyond. And it falls right in line with the name Applicable Dad, but also our vision statement. And that's where we want to be applicable, right? We talked about that first episode. We want to be relevant. We want to be appropriate. We want to empower. We want to encourage. And then we also want to inspire. And what a better way to do that than mentoring people and seeking out mentees to be that part, play that part. So have you had, well, what would you say, like, as a mentor? What is mentor? What is a mentor to you?
Just like you said, I mean, someone who can speak into your own life, and if you have things that you don't have quite figured out yet, you got to have that network of people around you, to bounce these problems, these situations, these instances off of them, so that they can give you a positive feedback and give you some direction.
Yeah,
I mean, in a nutshell, that's what mentors do. They help guide you into being better.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are types of mentors to you?
I mean, there's the obvious, parents, moms, dads, coaches, teachers. Teachers are huge.
Great point.
Co-workers can be mentors, motivational speakers. If you follow somebody on YouTube, podcast hosts.
Plug.
So, there's mentors you can find in every different walks of life. Whatever your circle is, you can find them. Build that network around you of positive people. That's the main focus.
That's great. I love how you threw in teachers. My wife is a teacher, so absolutely a mentor. There have been a lot of instances where there are kids within her school, within her classroom, that don't have parents at home, and positive role models at home. And this is not a indictment on any of her current kids by any means, but there have been situations where they've needed, me or someone like me or a role model like you to come up and share time, talk with them, share experiences, help them navigate through some of the struggles, emotions, feelings that they're dealing with. And it's been effective, and it's teachers are phenomenal. But as well, coworkers, I like how you said that. You can have mentors that are coworkers that speak into your life, that are interested in your success, maybe see some things that you might be doing a little bit wrong, that want to help you out. And so that's phenomenal. Absolutely. I could not agree with that entire list. And I'm sure there's more that we haven't added, but I think that's a pretty collective and comprehensive list there. So our personal dealings, I've had a mentor, like I said, I've had a professional mentor. I've had a kind of a parental mentor, if you will. Not my dad, but even somebody that has seen me in what I'm doing as a father, that wants to help with that side of it and see maybe some mistakes or some directions that I'm going. And I think I've become a better man and a better dad because of some of the mentoring that has been provided. But even friends, I think, if we're direct and honest with one another, you could be my mentor, I could be your mentor. So it's about finding the right fit, but providing the right relevant information as well. So We kind of go into really and truly like our topic one on this one, and that is, why does our society need more mentors? And outside of just the obvious, man, our world is in shambles in a lot of ways, and I think there's a lot of victimization that goes on with some kids these days, abuse, neglect, just things along those lines. That, what if a positive role model stepped into their life?
Yeah, and honestly, in our circle and our, our walk of life, we haven't even experienced anything that some of these kids experience, not even close. And it's heartbreaking to think of what some of these kids go through. Just not having role models or parents, for that matter.
Yeah.
We need to find ways where we can step up, those of us who are available and can be relevant, to step into these roles and reach out to people who need it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's our sole focus here, really. We're going to change content throughout the coming weeks and throughout the episodes, but how do we empower one another to be intentional and to take those steps? So other than the main, obvious reasons that people need, kids need, we need, adults need, all throughout the spectrum, mentors, our personal dealings have been great, and we've seen great benefit from being mentored. But there are some pretty wild statistics that are present in today's world. And so we've done a lot of research on this, and the father, role model, mentor absence stats are alarming. And I had touched on the first episode, that it was like 1 in 9 million kids, or 1 in 4. But as we additionally did some research, so here's another number 4 clarification, it's much larger than that. It's bigger than the 1 in 4. So I just want to kick it over to you. I know you had done some more research on the stats, and just kind of give us some of the stats that you came across.
We're talking on the basis of father absence crisis in America. We're talking about kids and how they grow up and where they end up. So poverty, 4 times greater risk of poverty without a father in the home, 7 times more likely to become pregnant as a teen, more likely to have behavioral problems, more likely to face abuse and neglect, 2 times greater risk of infant mortality, more likely to abuse drugs and alcohol, more likely to go to prison, 2 times more likely to suffer obesity, more likely to commit a crime, and 2 times more likely to drop out of high school.
Wow.
Now, these are all things that can be detrimental to the future of anybody's, final destination. So,
yeah,
it's important that, kids have role models, kids have parents, kids have a home or a structure around them to help guide them in walks of life.
For sure. Those are wild. And honestly, I don't feel like many of those are, actually none of them are really positive at all. And that's what's sad, because as a dad, you want to give your kids the best opportunity, right? So the absent fathers, the absent mentors. You got a call you need to?
I'm good. I'm
you
good.
Do? Okay.
That's the wife. She's
So
probably making sure I said 4 years.
So what we want to do is take a pause here. We want to pick that up, but let's pause right there and pick right back up after this. All right, we're back at it. Full transparency, we needed to get a quick break in. Apparently, Cody had a call that was very important and far more important than our podcast, but we're okay with it. So, there's priorities in life, and some take more of a priority than a podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So as we were talking
Everything's
about
okay.
Everything's okay. That's great to hear. So as we were talking about, we're talking about the stats and the absent role model, father, mentor stats, and they're not great. So you even play back into your experiences, right? you know, I play a little bit of online gaming. Cody plays a little bit of online gaming. It's something to pass the time. And some of the kids that you get on there need some additional guidance.
Respect level is low.
Man, it is incredible. You know, because my 10-year-old, my 6-year-old, you know, they play certain stuff too online and get exposed to other kids that are their same age, but they would never talk to these kids the way that these kids talk to them. And how and why do we as parents, as coaches, as mentors, as moms, or anything else, not monitor that and allow that? And I'm not saying kids aren't going to eventually experience language or hear language or see experiences that maybe we wouldn't allow in this household, but I always tell my kids, hey, you're going to hear it. I can't stop you from hearing it.
But they know their boundaries.
Yes.
They know where, they know when they can't say something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so you may hear it, you may experience it, and I can't stop that. But what I can do is I can keep you from doing it and perpetuating that thought process, those words, those actions within our household. And so it starts at the home, obviously. And if, 1 in 4 kids is without a positive role model, or if their mom is just struggling day to day to even keep food on the table, they're out working, 60 hours a week, it's hard to monitor that. And so that is really kind of the finality of this topic 1 for us.
That's a good point, though. I mean, you say we run across these things when we're gaming, but how do we react to that?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily mentoring, but we're, so when we have a child who's obviously not supposed to be, or shouldn't be cussing and, talking to somebody in a disrespectful manner, we don't give them the same feedback they give us. We be like, oh man, you shouldn't talk like that, you know, or we say, let's just play, let's have a good time.
Right.
We don't just drop out of the game and ignore them. We actually do try to counteract what they're saying and try to be a positive message to them in that instance. So, that's a small window of how to be impactful in somebody, hopefully impactful in somebody's life.
Yeah. Well, it's going back to what we had said. It's being intentional. And even in those small, even if you may not play with that kid for another game, what type of intention are you promoting during that conversation?
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. That's a great point. How are we being intentional to try to positively influence these kids? And whether it's, hey, watch your mouth, big man. You shouldn't be talking like that. Does your mom know you're talking like that? Mm-hmm. Something along those lines. But it's hard to build trust and respect in those limited interactions to get them to, sometimes you get hit with a double barrel shotgun right back, or they double down on
just shrug it off. Just shrug it off.
So
continue on.
Exactly. So that is our topic 1. And so we want to jump into our topic 2. Actually, I found a quote from good old Winston Churchill.
All right.
And I want to touch on that based on topic 1. And it is, we make a living by what we get, right? But we make a life by what we give. And in mentoring and a focus on mentoring, gosh, give more, right? Yeah. Old Dub C dropping knowledge on us, right? So, all right.
That's Winston Churchill.
Yeah, it's Dub C. Dub C, gang affiliated. So we'll go to topic 2 here. We wanted to touch on what is an expectation of being a mentor. And who's qualified, what is expected. And I think that's important. And so really and truly from our research, we found 3 different types of mentoring categories. One being the traditional category, one-on-one. Cody and I, Cody sees I'm exuding some bad habits, some bad focuses. He may come to me and ask, hey, do you want some help in this area? It comes with an offer and an acceptance, right? It has to be both understood for both of the mentor and the mentee to really get the most out of it. So that's the traditional side of it. The second side of it would be like a distance. Technology is great. There's opportunity to utilize it. If you don't have somebody within your immediate circle you can drive down the street, have a conversation with, there's a distance side of it. Skype, Zoom, phone call, FaceTime. Technology is there, and it is your friend to help people out.
Podcast.
I love the plugs, man. It's working out. Yeah, it's working out. And then the third of that we found from our research would be just a group. And this kind of sounds like an intervention, but it also has to be an acceptance from a mentee, right? So if you have a group of friends and you see somebody that's spiraling, why would you all collectively not reach out to that person and try to help them out?
Reel them back in.
Right. And so I wanted to really kind of even get into outside of those traditional sides. That was just our research side. But really and truly, like, why would you mentor? Why mentor? I mean, mentoring at its core, it just guarantees young people that are close to you, people that you care about, it helps them with their day-to-day challenges. And it makes them feel like they matter. Mm-hmm. And in today's mental health world, it's easy to feel like you don't matter. Like people are oblivious to you, or you could go away and no one's going to care, right? So research also has confirmed, just based on what we've come across, that quality mentoring relationships have powerful, positive effects on young people, old people just alike, in a variety of personal, academic, and professional situations. So there you go, personal, academic, professional. Mm-hmm. If you're looking for it, there's one of those three categories. And you could find somebody by being intentional, and you could find somebody to go out and mentor today. And ultimately, mentoring connects a young person, an average age person, an older person, doesn't even matter. And it helps to connect with them on like a personal growth and development and social and economic opportunity. But the stats go to 1 in 3 people throughout their lifetime have never had a mentor, have never had somebody that cares, that reaches out to them, that showcases additional concern for them. And what does that leave them? 1 in 4 absent role models in the home, 1 in 3 absent mentors. You're left to figure things out on your own. Mm-hmm. And that can be scary.
It's super scary.
So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'd like to revert back to the mentor themselves. Mm-hmm. As mentors, I think it's important for us to figure out who we are in the first place before we can, reach out to people or reach out to our inner circle. Our loved ones are impacted by the individual state of having our act together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If we don't have our act together, it's hard to help other people get their act together. It's like the ripple effect.
Still trying to figure that out on my
You know what
act.
the ripple effect is?
I do not.
It's like dropping a stone in water. Those ripples spread and they affect things in ways that we can't even comprehend, which means the things that we do or we don't do are way more important than we think.
Wow.
If we're not there in a certain situation for somebody, or we're not conducting ourselves in a way to reflect positively on someone else, they're watching us. We're always being watched.
Yeah.
Parents, for sure, by our children, even though we may not see it, or even the inner circles around our children, we're being watched.
Yeah. The ripple effect. I have not heard of that, but it makes complete sense. There's another one that I had come across too. I believe it was the broken windows phenomenon, and it's from like a psychology perspective, but it's every time a young person, and it's very similar to the ripple effect, but has something negative happen to them, you think of it like a window. Right? A pebble hits a window, it hits an immediate little spot within that window. And that negativity eventually in that window starts to become compromised, and it starts like spidering out, mm-hmm. right? And so what that spidering is additional negativity, whether they realize they're dealing with it or not, but that initial broken pebble that hit that window has a reverberating effect. And sounds very similar to the ripple effect, and I'm glad that you brought that up.
Wow.
Because that's something that everybody can kind of research and learn from as well. But so we want to go into, outside of like the mentoring expectations and understanding that side of it, what can we do and what can we provide as tips for mentors? If you're looking to be intentional, if you're looking to get in the game, if you will, what can you do? So after the first episode, I mentioned I coach, Cody coaches, we have our own kids, we're influencing kids within school systems, and, our extended family, nephews, nieces, loved ones, friends of friends of friends, your 15-year-old stepson, all of his friends that come over. There's a lot of opportunity there. You're 16 year old daughter, almost 17, all of her friends, if she's dating, anybody that comes over, what a great opportunity to be relevant and to be applicable in those situations. And I keep beating it down, but it goes back to intent. Are you just letting them come in? Are you saying, hey, go have fun, go upstairs, do what you want to do? Or are you intentionally having conversation, engaging conversation, learning about them, providing your experiences, not forcefully, but in a, organic way.
Yeah. Eat dinner with them, play games with them, play cards, board games.
Yeah.
Whatever. Just be interactive. Mm-hmm. Don't let them go up and just do whatever they want without knowing what they're doing, which it's fine too. We do the same thing. Hey, we're going to spend some time together. You guys can have your time together.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Don't be overwhelming. Don't be overbearing, but be intentional and develop that relationship. And so we came up with some tips on how do you develop that relationship as a mentor. And what it really comes down to is you have to be supportive. You have to be relevant, which plays back into our definition of applicable. You have to be relevant. So, and I'm not saying go learn all the Fortnite dances, go learn all the TikTok dances. I mean, you don't have to be relevant. Be relevant and creative in your own ways,
Challenge
right?
accepted.
Yeah, that works for me. I love it. I connect with my boy and his friends through the TikTok and through the, Fortnite dances. And so you have to kind of play that side of it. What are your strengths as well? How could you be relevant? You have to gain the trust and respect. It's never just given to you. Today's kid does not immediately understand respect your elders.
No.
True.
No. And, gain respect by just being there. First of all, be there in every aspect, in every way that you can. And, be the person they want to turn to.
Right. Yeah. Outside of being that, trust and respect, you have to listen. Mm-hmm. You have to listen. And that's the hardest thing for today's world, because everybody has an opinion. Everybody has an avenue to provide that opinion, but you have to listen. And so
on that, listen without trying to fix it too. That's super difficult for me to do.
Yeah.
Every time I hear a problem and I listen to my kids, my wife, present a situation where they don't know what to do, I'm immediately thinking of how to fix that problem. Yeah. And I immediately want to give my input on it. And sometimes that's not always the best way to go about it,
But you have such good advice.
Well, you would think so. I mean, I think I got it, but
you've got to figure it out.
Evidently, that's not always the case.
Yeah.
But.
So great added point there. So those are the really the kind of emphasis of what makes you a good mentor. And so you have to find what works for you. But the intent starts, and then you figure it out from there.
I got a couple more, John. You also have to be objective.
Okay.
I mean, you can't be. Nobody needs a yes man.
True.
Nobody needs a yes man.
No.
You got to have a true, honest opinion on things. And if you're true and honest, I heard a story where it was on TikTok actually. They had a group of friends, and one guy they said was like, "Man, he's always honest, always brutally honest." if I asked him if these jeans were okay, he'd be like, man, those jeans don't look good.
Yeah.
You don't have the right body type for it or whatever.
Fit.
And
That's
he
not
said,
a Speedo fit.
And he said the counter product to that was, whenever he complimented me, I believed him even more.
Wow.
Because of all that honesty,
Yeah.
Be objective. Don't just tell them what they want to hear. Give them an honest, objective opinion about things,
Wow.
and give praise, even in the smallest areas. Give praise when it doesn't seem important to you. Something simple, a haircut or a shirt that looks good, or they tuck their shirt in for the first time. You're like, man, that looks awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just be intentional.
Yeah, that's great. I love that, because you want to make sure you believe the relationships that you have, the feedback that they're providing you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, my wife doesn't believe a lot of things that I say to her, but I do. She just doesn't see it sometimes, So that's interesting. I love that. So that's kind of where we're focused on the tips for mentors: supportive, relevant, develop trust and respect. Huge. Listen, huge. Be objective, as Cody had added to that. Huge. Be sincere, which is really what I took from what you had added there. Be sincere. Yeah. Be genuine. Don't give them fake. All right. Well, episode 1, we ended up with about 9 minutes of zero video, and then we found out some understanding of our own equipment. So technology is hard for some 40-year-old gentlemen that are trying to improve mentors. Yeah. So we got cut off there. And so I want to go back to that. And the point that we were trying to stress is the tips for the mentors. We want to be supportive. We want to be relevant, applicable. We want to develop the trust and the respect, right? We want to listen, which is so key. We want to be objective
and sincere.
We want to be sincere. We don't want to give counterfeit praise. We want to be genuine in our praise, right? Because if somebody picks up on, feels like you're not being sincere and giving you that counterfeit praise, they're going to realize that, and they're going to immediately write you off. And your relationship is done. Because when you do come back with sincere praise, they may not trust you. And then you go back to
the way you want it.
What's that?
It's not received the way you may want it.
Yeah. So I'm glad that you brought that up, the objective and the sincere side, because it's so important. Kids are much, much smarter than you think they are. And especially in today's technology-driven world, they're gaining intelligence on a much, much faster scale than even we did when we were growing up. And so...
simple times for us.
It was simple times. It was simple times. Man, I just remember putting... what were those, the covers on the books that you would get passed over? You put your own little cover on them, doodle all over it.
Are you talking about like the paper bags?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But all of our sources were cited from true libraries.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't until college that we got into ALA and MLA formats. But most of that stuff was even off Google.
Yeah.
Before plagiarism really was a big issue. Don't plagiarize. All right. So that is our topic 2. So again, want to talk about the sponsor update. Thank you again to Justice Fit Training in Okmulgee, Oklahoma. Thank you to Chris for giving Cody and I an avenue, to improve our mental health, to improve our physical fitness, to get outside of the dad bod. Actually, dad bods are okay now, right?
It's a trend. Yeah.
It's more accepted.
Yeah.
So it's like if your upper body is like kind of defined, you can still have like a beer belly or
eat what you want.
Kool-Aid belly. Kool-Aid. 2 cups of sugar. Yeah. All right.
Don't go off the directions.
Yeah. And we're going to rope back in. So thank you again to Justice Fit. Make sure you check them out. Great, reasonable pricing, 24/7 access, family owned and operated, kids room, personal classes. They've got boxing classes. They have fitness classes. They have, if you want to go in there and release some energy, just punch a bag. They've got tons of bags in there. They also have something that I didn't mention the first time. They have a party room, exposed brick wall. They have a batting cage that you can draw out, pull out, that is phenomenal. So if you're ever looking for just kind of a space to get together, they also offer that for you. So I don't think you have to be a member to do that, but just give Chris a shout at 918-758-6163, and he will get you taken care of. Chris is a good man, and as Cody mentioned, the first episode, you just want to hug him.
You do.
He's just a good, genuine, God-fearing man. So thank you again for listening to episode 2. As we continue to grow, Cody mentioned the first episode that this was going to be messy, and it's been a little messy, but the message is what's important. So don't focus on our technology issues and ineptitudes. All right? Focus on what we have to say, the meat and potatoes of our message, if you will. Okay? Focus on that. Stick with us. We're going to keep doing this. The feedback that we've received is far too positive. We've already reached a handful of people, and we want to reach even more. We want to stay within that realm of the people we've reached and continue to provide influence, positivity to those people, but we want to expand that reach. And with you... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
If you feel like you've taken some inspirational things from our episodes, please share and like with your friends, your family, your network group, your coworkers, everybody that you have in your circles.
Absolutely. Could not agree more on that. Like, share. It's overdone, right? You hear that at the end of every YouTube video, every Facebook video, but our growth is going to come from our immediate, and I checked on the Facebook page, I said 711-ish. We're like 798. So we've grown even since the last episode. So, which is exciting. It's exciting. So now we're being intentional on our platform, and we're trying to reach more people. And so it's not about us. It's about the reach. It's about reaching the people that may be struggling and helping out in those areas. So like and subscribe, share if you don't mind. All right. We're going to be annoying on social media, but it's because we care. That's really and truly what it is. So we actually had a drawing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Free stuff.
We had a drawing. We had some shares on our initial, which is phenomenal. Thank you.
Love it.
Thank you. And we actually drew Brandon Robbins.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I know that guy.
I know. He's a good guy. Like-minded individual. Great dad. Not scared to get dressed up. I mean, it could not have been a more perfect fit on the drawing. And so, Brandon Robbins, we will be reaching out to you directly. We will get you your shirt. And then new shirts are coming in. We just actually put the new order in. So we're about 7 to 10 business days on the new shirts, the new logo. And we still have old shirts to give out, though. So old shirts, still great cotton. Cody said he could run a mile in them, soft.
7-minute mile. No, that's not true.
Let's go ahead and put that to the test.
Brandon Robbins, one of my inspirations for sure.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, when it came out, it was like, this could not even be more, like, it could not be better. So, Brandon, we'll reach out to you. Same thing goes. We still have 6 shirts left on the old logo. So, like and share, get put in that drawing, and get you some free swag. Why not? Look at this guy. He looks good in it. So there's no dad bod over here. All right.
It's from here up. Yeah. Down is dad bod.
Yeah. So
I have Crocs on, by the way.
You're not supposed to tell people that. That's why we put the camera right here, man. Nobody needs to see that. He's trying to connect with a 16 and 15-year-old. Yeah. So, which is great.
Thank you, Emma.
Yeah. So stay tuned for the next episode. Next episode is going to get
lit.
We're going to get... Okay.
Is that not the right word?
I think that's right. We're going to get vulnerable too, but the title of the next episode is Just Ask. Seeking support proactively. In today's mentoring, fathering, parenting, moms, and the like, we struggle with asking. for help. And so we want to address that. We want to talk about and give guidance and what we've experienced on asking for help. Just ask, because you've got a group of people that are willing to help. So that's kind of it for today. Any parting words from you?
No.
Okay. Short and sweet. Short and sweet. This guy
got me off guard.
Like it. All right, caught him off guard. I'm gonna keep doing
Get
that.
out of here.
I thought it was a high soft.
Go on, get it.
Go on. Hey, thank you again. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us for Applicable Dad. We really and truly appreciate it.
Yes.
And let's expand this outreach and let's keep growing together. Thank you.
Bye-bye.